The following radio program deals with the Degrassi shooting timeline and deals with some very harsh topics to talk about. Viewer discretion is advised. This video is rated 14 plus. However, another disclaimer. I know that in Canada we cannot name offenders and victims. As you will hear that Rick Murray, Sean Cameron, Jimmy Brooks, Jay Hogarth, and Spinner Mason have been name dropped, to say the very least. Normally they wouldn't say the investigation and who the shooter is. They wouldn't identify the shooter, or they would have identified the victims, but they would never have identified Spinner and Jay as being expelled and all that. They would probably just say 2 boys, age 17, have been expelled and not name drop. But this is no BS radio. I make no bones about it. This is just a simulation of sorts how radio stations would probably say that. It's hard to imagine in the Degrassi universe about not naming names and all that. So that's what I'm doing, and that's how it's going to be. We interrupt this program for a very special bulletin. There has been a shooting at Degrassi Community School in Toronto, just 5 minutes away from our studios. The time is 2:15 p.m. Eastern Time. There has been a shooting at Degrassi Community School. We will tell you more about the shooting as information gets by. Once again, it's 2:15. There has been a shooting at Degrassi Community School. We will give you all the details as soon as possible. It is 2:30 p.m. and we are following up a developing story at Degrassi Community School where there's been a shooting. One student has been led away in a hospital gurney with life-threatening injuries. There has been reports of a dead student in the school still, and gunshots were heard. We'll have more information about this when it comes available. It's 3 o'clock here on No BS Radio Toronto, and we are following a developing story in Toronto. As many people should be knowing that we are looking at the Degrassi school shooting at the Degrassi Community School here. Information came in about an hour ago. We will have all the details at 5 o'clock. We will have a lot of details. So stay tuned to this station. 4 o'clock. A few details about the Degrassi shooting we are going to be telling you right now before 5 o'clock when we have the full report is that one student is dead, one student is in life-threatening condition, and one student is hurt. There has been a total of 3 students who have been hurt in a shooting. We will have all the details for you later on. It is 5 o'clock. Welcome to No BS Radio Toronto. My name is Jeff Diamond, and this is the news. A shooting has happened at Degrassi Community School in Toronto. At 5 o'clock Eastern Time, we are learning that the incident happened roughly 1:30, 2 o'clock this afternoon. Police have given a few details. The details are as follows. This is as follows. The details are that what we see is a student had taken a gun into the school and had shot somebody before being shot himself. There are rumors that the shooter, a 17-year-old who has not been identified yet, took the gun to the school for some odd reason and shot a student and has injured another student. Full details not completely there. The police have said they will make a press conference at 5:30 Eastern Time for this to happen. It's 6 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock, and good evening, No BS Radio Toronto News Report. Jeff Diamond here with you, and here's the news. There's been a tragic shooting at Degrassi Community School in around the Degrassi area of Toronto that happened roughly around 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time today, Friday, October 15, 2004. The shooter has been identified as 17-year-old Rick Murray. Murray's background has been that Rick Murray had been pulled out of school last year by his parents for an abuse of a female student who is no longer at Degrassi School. What police have told us in the interviews is that Rick Murray had a gun and had taken it and had shot a student. Now we can identify him as Jimmy Brooks, a star athlete for Degrassi. Police say that Jimmy was found with a bullet in his back and that he had seemed dead, but they pulled him out of the hospital, pulled him to Clark Hospital. Counting down, it's No BS Radio Toronto. Welcome back. The time is now 3 o'clock Eastern Time on Monday, October 18, 2004. Jeff Diamond here spinning some nice songs for you, but however, we are talking about the Degrassi shooting at Degrassi Community School that happened on Friday the 15th of October. This is what we do know. Police have made a few press conferences, and the fact of the matter is that Rick Murray had taken a gun to the school. The 17-year-old took a gun from his parents' desk and apparently was bringing the gun to the school for revenge. Rick Murray has been found guilty of shooting Jimmy Brooks in the back. Doctors have told us at Clark Hospital, that Jimmy Brooks is paralyzed from the waist down. However, he is expected to survive. So Jimmy Brooks has been paralyzed. Of course, Rick Murray, we have found out that Rick Murray had intended to shoot a female student, 16-year-old Emma Nelson. And however, Sean Cameron, also 16 years old, had wrestled the gun away from Rick, and while he and Rick were fighting for the gun, a gunshot went off. It was apparent that apparently Sean had been shot, but however, it was found out that Rick had been hit with a fatal bullet. Details have surfaced from a number of Degrassi staff members and students that Rick Murray had been viciously bullied at the school after he came back to the school despite leaving Degrassi the year prior. It is all in relation to an incident involving Terry McGregor, a former student at Degrassi School, now a student at St. Lawrence Private School. What had happened the previous year was that Rick Murray had pushed Terry McGregor's head onto a rock and basically put her in a coma. Rick's parents did say that there were a lot of students that wanted retribution for what Rick did to Terry, and they pulled him out of school. However, just a few weeks ago, Rick Murray was allowed to come back to Degrassi on the basis of the police saying that no criminal charges were laid on Rick by anybody, either friends or family of Terry McGregor. So thus, he was allowed to come back to whatever school he wished, and he chose Degrassi. What we do know from interviews is that students had taken a cause of the Orange Ribbon campaign about domestic violence and had basically beaten the crap out of Rick Murray, so much that Rick had been bullied almost relentlessly. However, Rick Murray apparently had taken some kind of revenge on some tormentors by spray painting people's cars with a symbol. What we do know is that Rick Murray was the victim of a paint and feather prank by Degrassi students. Unfortunately, there's no leads on who could be responsible. Daniel Radish, principal of Degrassi Community School, says that he will be investigating and hopefully he will make a move. Police have also said that have had we've had stories relayed about the fact that Rick was humiliated and decided to take a gun to the school and shoot somebody. We don't know if Rick had any other targets other than Jimmy Brooks and Emma Nelson, but we will soon learn. What we do know about the shooting situation is that Emma Nelson was targeted because of what Rick had perceived as a love interest. According to Toby Isaacs, who was Rick's friend at the time, he said that Rick had said some stuff about Emma, saying that she led him along and she pitied him and she made him look like a fool. It's apparent that Rick had actually tried a romantic interest in Nelson, but Nelson said no and basically badmouthed him. Isaacs also said that he saw Sean Cameron leap in front of the gun and even tried to reason with Rick about, don't do this now. But Rick said he had shot somebody, which obviously would have been Brooks. So basically, the two of them wrestled for the gun and there was a gunshot going off and all of that. So Rick Murray is dead. There is talk of a civil lawsuit brought by Rick's parents, Geraldine and Michael Murray, said that they are unsure if they can get a civil suit. There are rumors that the police may not get involved in this. However, what we do know is that the Degrassi student body has basically bullied Rick Murray into submission. The school board announced that there will be internal investigation about how the bullying was handled and all that. Several teachers have complied with interviews with the school board, and we will see. Welcome back to No BS Radio. It's 5 o'clock on Monday, October 18, 2004. I'm Jeff Diamond. There's been a major update to the Degrassi shooting at Degrassi Community School. We have learned that through sources that Sean Cameron, the boy who has been labeled a hero for his role in trying to calm down Rick Murray and actually stopping bloodshed from happening, has decided to leave Toronto for Wasaga Beach to be with his parents at a grieving time. Jay Hogarth, a friend of Cameron's, said that Sean was involved in an accidental jet ski crash and nearly drowned before being saved by a lifeguard. Sean Cameron had said to Hogarth and had said to his parents that the shooting had taken a toll on him and he didn't know what he had done. Police have made a statement at 4:48 p.m. that Sean Cameron is not going to be tracked. Basically, they are saying that Sean Cameron is not going to be forced to come back to Toronto for anything because, his right to stay in Wasaga Beach. There is rumors circulating that Sean Cameron may have left Wasaga Beach for the fact that he had accidentally killed Rick Murray and he thought he would be investigated. The police did say that Sean Cameron will not face any criminal charges whatsoever. And so practically, that's what we have. Of course, we have the hearsay and all that. The school board has still made their decision to make an internal investigation on this case, and we will have more on the Degrassi shooting as it happens, if anything happens. This is No BS Radio Toronto. It is 6 p.m. It's time for the No BS Radio Super News Report. I'm Jeff Diamond. Thanks for listening. It is Monday, October 18, 2004, 6 p.m. We will have some very interesting hints on what to do with your Thanksgiving leftovers, if you still have Thanksgiving leftovers, but that's a little later in the show. Coming up, and also coming up, we'll talk to a duck trainer who says she can train her ducks to toot horns. Okay. But anyway, our lead story has to do with the Degrassi shooting at the Degrassi Community School that happened on Friday, October 15th, 2004. This is what we can report on. We reported a couple hours ago on Rick Murray and the fact that he had taken a gun to the school mostly to get revenge for a prank that happened during the Whack Your Brain regional finals at the Degrassi School on Friday the 15th. Producers of Whack Your Brain says that they will still show the episode when it airs on Thursday night. However, they will be taking the footage of the paint and feathers out, obviously. They said that they would have the episode on because Rick's parents had said they wanted the episode to be on. However, there might be some talk about the episode being canceled. However, Degrassi's victory over Northern Tech will still happen. Like, the trophy will still be with Degrassi. They cannot stop that from happening. We do know that Rick Murray had been painted and feathered by an unknown assailant. And basically, he had taken a gun from his parents' home and went for revenge. There is speculation on a list of people he had intentions to shoot. However, he did shoot Jimmy Brooks in the back, paralyzing him. Brooks is still in hospital. He is either going to be a paraplegic or he will die, but people are being cautious about Brooks. He seems to be doing okay. And then Murray attempted to shoot Emma Nelson in the head after Emma had spurned his advances and all that, according to Toby Isaacs, a friend of Rick Murray's. Sean Cameron, count on it. It's No BS Radio. Jeff Diamond here live from the No BS Toronto radio station headquarters. It is 4 p.m. on Friday, October 22nd, 2004. And we have some news involving the Degrassi Community School shooting. It's been 1 week since the shooting has happened, and rumors have been circulating that on Monday, the school will be back to teaching classes. Of course, the past week, the school has been open for grief counselors and for students to study without classes, and that's all there is to it. The Degrassi School Board has announced that they will still have their internal investigation, and they will make results known on Tuesday. So that is what happened. We are getting a report from the Degrassi Police Force that said that they have been notified that there was an orange ribbon cause for victims of domestic violence, that the students had taken too seriously and had been at work because of that. The people who started this cause have been identified as Paige Michaelchuk and Emma Nelson. However, they both will not be facing any criminal charges because it was the students who basically had done the impossible. Just to let everyone know that unless you have not really been listening to reports about the Degrassi school shooting and want to know about stuff, here's what the timeline is. Last Friday, October 15th, 2004, Rick Murray had gone into Degrassi School with a gun that he had pilfered off his dad, and he had, at roughly 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, taken the gun and shot Jimmy Brooks in the back. Jimmy Brooks is in a wheelchair. He will not have full movement of his legs, but he is still getting surgery, and he's still in good spirits, according to some friends of his. And then apparently after shooting after shooting Jimmy Brooks, Rick had found Emma Nelson with a couple of people, Sean Cameron and Toby Isaacs, and basically told Emma that you made my list. You spurned me. You basically made me look like a fool. However, Toby Isaacs, Rick's friend at the time, also said that Sean had tried to calm Rick down. However, Rick would not listen. He said he shot somebody and now he has to shoot Emma, but Sean wrestled the gun from him. There was a gunshot gone off, and we all thought there was a death, but there was a death. Rick Murray died from his own gun, but it was found out that Sean Cameron wrestled the gun and accidentally shot him. Sean Cameron will not be facing any criminal charges, as it was just accidental and it was in self-defense. Given the circumstances, Police Chief Mike Acalanzano said, we cannot charge Sean Cameron with any crime at all. There is a school board investigation, as we said, that on Tuesday they will release the details of the investigation and what can happen. We don't know about any circumstances towards the Murrays, Geraldine and Michael Murray, Rick's parents. Police said they're still investigating about their role and the gun and all that, so they'll see what will happen. Not to put any sympathy towards the victim, Rick Murray, but on Tuesday, his funeral was not attended by any Degrassi students other than Toby Isaacs. Geraldine Murray had said, quote, Toby was the only one at Degrassi. It was sad seeing him being the only representation of Degrassi. I guess they really hated my son so much. There were rumors that a lot of people were threatening that if students of Degrassi went to the funeral, that there would be repercussions. However, that has not been proven in any case. So anyway, we'll have more for you at 6 o'clock. It is 6 p.m. Good evening. It is October 22nd, 2004. I'm Jeff Diamond. We will have some Halloween costume ideas for your pets. We will also look at the Danforth eating challenge that we will have live coverage of on the radio, strange enough. But first, we have to talk about our top story, which is the Degrassi shooting at Degrassi Community School that has happened last Friday. We will reiterate at what we said at 4 o'clock. Rick Murray, 1 week ago, took a gun into the school and shot a student, Jimmy Brooks, in the back, and he also tried to shoot Emma Nelson. However, Sean Cameron had saved her, and Sean Cameron had accidentally killed Rick with his own gun. Sean Cameron is not facing any criminal charges. However, Cameron did make a statement saying that he's not coming back to Toronto because he needs to deal with the events of the shooting at Wasaga Beach. Counselors have been available to him at one time, and the police said that they will make sure that Sean is safe. We do have a couple of information about Rick Murray. Rick Murray had been severely bullied at Degrassi Community School. That we do know. Sources have told us that there was a domestic violence cause that forced the students to basically trip up Rick and beat Rick to a bloody pulp. Now we are being notified that Rick Murray had not said anything to his parents or to Daniel Radich, the school principal. Daniel Radich had made a statement saying that Rick Murray did not come to me with anything about bullying. He did come to me about a student, that being Jimmy Brooks, and said that he was bothering him. And it's No BS Toronto News Radio. Hi there, it's Tuesday, October 26th. I'm Jeff Diamond, and this is the news report. Coming up, we'll talk about Halloween tips to protect your little ones, and we'll also talk to an author of a new book called Flaming Arrow, to do with Indigenous people. However, we do have some breaking news about the Degrassi Community School shooting that has happened. This is very major because this has to do with an investigation. Now, the police have made a statement saying that Geraldine and Michael Murray will be facing charges of improper firearm storage and use, because they had the gun that Rick Murray had taken from his dad's desk, which was in plain sight of him. That gun was used to shoot Jimmy Brooks and nearly kill Emma Nelson before Rick was killed by his own gun by accident by Sean Cameron. But the big news today has been that the Toronto School Board has announced the departure of Principal Daniel Radich from his duties as head administrator of Degrassi Community School. The school board had said in a statement that they did their own investigation. They talked to students and teachers and found out that Daniel Radich had mishandled the situation with Rick Murray. before the shooting, and there are rumors that after the shooting he had basically screwed up things. This is very major, so we'll get the report out. So the report has said, now this is what we know. This is what the school board has released to No BS Radio. It has said that Daniel Radich will no longer be principal of Degrassi Community School due to the fact that he had mishandled Rick Murray's situation about being bullied and had mishandled Rick's actions before the shooting. However, the school board has also said that they had talked to some students a couple of days ago and they found out that Daniel Radich had basically been very much a tyrant, as they call it. However, they can say that Daniel Radich had made some threats to some students, and according to drama club writers James Tiberius York and Liberty Van Sant, Radich approached them on Friday, last Friday, that being the 22nd, and said that we cannot have the Dracula play be put on because of the events of the last week, and wanted them to do a musical. Van Sant and York said yesterday to the school board, said that they had agreed to basically write a song to try to get Radich to admit to his faults as principal, because he hasn't done much. According to York, the drama club was brought in to sing the song, but they said they would rebel, but they didn't want to be expelled, which obviously means that there was probably some kind of issue between Radich and the school at that time. Students had commented in the investigation that Daniel Radich had not really been giving them much of a voice and all of that, and they said there would be no confidence on that. The school board released a couple of statements, and one statement has said that he had basically completely whiffed on handling Rick Murray situation. When a student asks you for help, you have to at least try to help them, and if you can't, then you just say we'll investigate and all that. However, Daniel Radich did say that Rick Murray did not say anything about the bullying. He had not said he was being bullied or all that. The school board did take that into consideration, saying that Rick Murray probably did not tell the administration. It is now time for the No BS Toronto 6 o'clock news. I'm Jeff Diamond. On this Friday, October 29th, 2004. We'll be talking about Halloween and the best tips about Halloween coming up later in the show. But first, the announcement, of course, that we said on Tuesday about Daniel Radich being eliminated from his position at Degrassi Community School. We have been notified by the school board, and they have told us a major statement of facts that we can report on. So we'll tell you about Daniel Radich, and we'll be telling you mostly about the situation and who's the new principal of Degrassi Community School. In a few minutes, we have traffic and weather coming up. It is 6:04, and the big announcement from Degrassi Community School, of course, we reported on that on Tuesday, but it's been made official that the Toronto District School Board has announced that Daniel Radich will be forced to step down as principal of Degrassi Community School because of his involvement in the Rick Murray shooting investigation, and also because of the aftermath towards his students. He has been reassigned to another school. The Toronto District School Board did not release any information about what his new role is and where it is because of privacy concerns for his safety. So what we do know about Daniel Radich is that he has spent 25 years at an administrative position at Degrassi schools. There used to be a Degrassi Junior High and a Degrassi High building, which was revamped to be the Degrassi Community School. Daniel Radich was an English teacher for the majority of his time, between 1979 and 1989, before becoming vice principal of Degrassi High School from 1990 to 2001, and that's when Degrassi Community School opened up, and that's when Daniel Radich was named principal of Degrassi Community School. He served in the capacity for 3 more years and now is been eliminated. He's been reassigned. Of course, they did not say anything about it. Reports had said that from the internal investigation from the school board, and not the police investigation, the police investigation did not turn up anything different than the internal investigation. School board president Lawrence Lamberin said, quote, Daniel Radich has been eliminated from his position at Degrassi Community School due to the fact that he had not taken an active approach on helping Rick Murray with the bullying that had happened at his school. He did not make any statements towards any staff members about how to handle the bullying and all that. He seemed to be oblivious to the bullying, and also they had said, and also we had determined that Daniel Radich had not completely taken a full interest in finding out the pain and feathers culprits on the prank that forced Rick Murray over the edge. And students have also reported that Radich had made some bold statements about the fact that students should follow his lead. Their voices don't matter. They had heard that Daniel Radich had completely, in the past few years, not really given much voice to a lot of people. End quote. So Daniel Radich is now out of Degrassi, mostly due to his involvement in the fact that he had mishandled Rick Murray's bullying and had basically made some statements. I can tell you that one statement from media arts teacher Archie Snake Simpson was that Daniel Radich had not made a full-blown plan to help Rick, even after being pain and feathered, and basically being told by Simpson told Radich that there was some incidents going on, and Radich had said that when he's ready, he'll tell me and I'll put a kibosh on it. However, Daniel Radich made a statement towards Simpson saying, quote, this is not preschool, and making friends is not part of the curriculum. And it was taken from the fact from the school board that basically he had mishandled the situation and had said that basically Rick was complaining about friends and all that. That is what Daniel Radich had said in a statement, saying that Rick came to me and wanted me to make Jimmy and him friends. He did not say anything about the bullying. I can attest to you that I don't think he would have done that. And of course, he had put Degrassi's production of Dracula on hold because of the events of the shooting. It was actually notified that he had made an admission of guilt, saying that he had worried about any police investigation or a civil lawsuit from the Murrays, Rick's parents, about what had happened. He did admit that he completely made a mistake, but he was willing to do whatever it took to help the school out. In a ceremony this afternoon at Degrassi Community School, it was announced that Daphne Hatzilakos, the head science teacher of Degrassi, will now be the new principal. Hatzilakos had taken some administrative work at the University of Toronto, so she will be the new principal. The students have reported that Hatzilakos has made a few key moves, including trying to get school spirit up, and also by putting Dracula, the work of Liberty Van Sant and J.T. York, back on, so the school can now do something about it. There will be a benefit attached to it, as it is No BS Toronto Radio on this Tuesday, November 9th, 2004. And Americans will go to the polls today to vote if George W. Bush will have a second term. We'll have election coverage throughout the night, but we will also be talking locally. I'm Jeff Diamond, and coming up in 15 minutes, we'll have a news report about bears and how to protect yourself from bears because of a couple of bear attacks in the Yukon. Plus, we will talk about university football as the Ontario quarterfinals will be pushed underway, and see if why U of Toronto did not get to the quarterfinals. However, we start with some very breaking news about the Degrassi school shooting. As you know, a month ago, Rick Murray had taken a gun to Degrassi Community School and shot Jimmy Brooks, whereas he was attempting to shoot Emma Nelson and, in fact, had died by his own gun by Sean Cameron. We have been notified that today, Tuesday the 9th of November, there has been a massive break in the story. As we have been telling you that there has been no major leads on the investigation about the paint and feathers prank that befell Rick Murray on the Whack Your Brain competition, which pushed him over the edge, as his parents said. We do know that 2 students have been expelled for their actions, both 17. We have been notified that Gavin Spinner Mason and Jay Hogart will be facing expulsion for their roles in the Paint and Feathers prank. As Daphne Hasselhackles had told reporters that, and the school board has also told reporters that the 2 students admitted to their guilt about bullying Rick Murray and putting the Paint and Feathers prank on him. The school board said that there was a zero tolerance policy about the bullying and the Paint and Feathers prank. So thus those 2 were the main culprits of the investigation, and they both will be serving expulsion, so which means I will not be allowed to come back to Degrassi Community School for the year, and they will be held back 1 year. Police have also been notified if there will have been told ask questions about if they will be facing criminal charges. However, because of the nature of the scope, Daphne Hasselhackles had said to the school board that she does not want criminal investigations on Mason or Hogart. According to Hasselhackles, Mason had talked to her in the office and had admitted his guilt about the Paint and Feathers and being part of the bullying that befell Rick Murray during his time at Degrassi after he came back the year after he had accidentally put Terry McGregor in a coma. Mason also stated that Jay Hogart was part of the investigation, was part of the bullying as well. He did not name anyone else. However, the Toronto School Board had made a note that all Degrassi students have to take an anti-bullying course on Friday. And they pass. They need to pass. If they fail, they get 2 more shots. If they fail those, there will be consequences such as detention and suspension. What we do know about Mason is that he admitted that they had taken the prank too far and forced Rick to take the gun to the school. We still do not know why Rick Murray had, in fact, taken a gun to Jimmy Brooks, when in fact it was supposed to be noted that Brooks and Murray were on the same team for Whack Your Brain and had seemed to be friendly with each other. I don't think we'll know about that. So just to reiterate, there has been a pair of expulsions. The students have been expelled and have been named in the press release. The school board says that no other investigations are going on, that basically the students will have to learn from their mistakes. And I hope to God, someday, in some way, bullying will be stopped or basically put on the back burner. Rick Murray's parents deserve better. And so here's my final thought on the Rick Murray situation. Rick Murray we were told that Rick Murray had not spoken to the administration and the parents about the word bully, all that. If you're bullied at school and all that, I suggest you talk to the administrators, you talk to your parents and all of that. Get them involved. Even though you don't want them to get majorly involved, just say that, make them aware. They can probably make some type of talk with the schools and all that. All Toronto schools will now have to deal with this fact that they'll have to cut down bullying. Rick Murray deserved better, even though he was guilty of causing a girl to go into a coma. The student body had majorly made a mistake, and that mistake was basically to punish Rick Murray for what he did with simple bullying and all that. Although some students admitted that they bullied him, but then they stopped because Rick was not going anywhere. That just doesn't make any sense. There's no excuses. Degrassi Community School will get a lot of flack, and they should get flack. Their administration completely botched everything up. There were admissions of guilt from a few teachers, and I hope they learn from this. This failure will let them grow as a school. Don't hate on Degrassi. don't make threats towards Degrassi School because of this. They are good people. They have problems and they'll go fight through it. We can all fight through this. Each and every one of us. Thank you. And we'll be right back. Thank you for watching all my Degrassi videos to do with the Degrassi shooting for the 15-year thing. There will probably not be any more Degrassi videos to do with the shooting because I figured I did what I could and I did all my analysis of the and it's been 15 years, so what else can go wrong, if you will? I'd like to thank the Degrassi Reddit community for bringing me into disrepute and repute about my topics and all that past year and a half. It's been a fun ride with you guys. And a very special thank you to Not a Vampire for their work, because their videos made me change my perceptions of how I dealt with the Degrassi shooting, even though I didn't really see it first run because I was in college. It made me a better person and made me do better analysis of things and helping me out. So thank you for watching. The Degrassi videos will still continue. There will be different topics each month. And of course, if anything major happens that I want to report on, I will report it to you, the Degrassi Reddit community. Enjoy the list. Share the list if you wish. Embrace the list. Embrace my views. If you don't like it, fair enough. But, I mean, if we are all constructive about things, that can happen. Oh, and I implore anyone who has been bullied or is a bully to go get help for their problems. It doesn't have to be like a psychiatrist. It could just start at home with help, with family help. Family will come through for you. If they don't come for you, that's their problem, not yours. If you've been bullied, if you are being bullied constantly because of something stupid, you must go to the authorities. Kids Help Phone is the best thing you could do, or see a psychiatrist. Get the help you need, because we don't want another Rick Murray situation in Canada or the United States. We don't want somebody who has been bullied, who basically had caused a crime, got constantly bullied and pushed to the limits that they basically thought shooting someone was the best for a revenge. It's not. Guns don't happen to be problem solvers. I hope everyone realizes that in North America. Thank you for watching everything, and we'll see you sometime later. Adieu.